Oh, 5 charms are here. That doesn't happen every time. I haven't seen this for a while. The first charm is the tree. It landed between lessons, trust your intuition and spirit. The next comes the evil eye. It rests between support, family and home, focus, and career and work. Then we have the solar cross. It landed inside the emotional. Next comes Hecate's wheel. It landed between physical and emotional while touching self. And finally we have the mushroom. It landed between self and support. The first charm is the tree. And I like this position. It landed between lessons, trust your intuition and spirit. Because trees are not in a hurry. They don't tell themselves, grow faster. They keep reaching with their roots a little deeper into the earth, as growing their branches a little higher toward the light. Not that you should stand in the same place, you are a human being, not a tree after all. But it almost feels like this reading begins by asking you to stay present. Calm your mind, find your center, because that's how strong roots grow, making new branches grow too. Next comes the evil eye. Traditionally, the evil eye is a symbol of protection, not fear, protection. It rests between support, family and home, focus, and career and work. And I don't immediately read this as someone working against you. Sometimes protection appears simply because you are entering a season where your attention matters, where your energy becomes something worth looking after. Not everything deserves access to it. Then we have the solar cross. It landed completely inside the emotional. The solar cross represents harmony. It reminds us to bring different parts of life back to balance. And seeing it here tells me it's about prioritizing your own well-being, looking after your inner world, because inner peace has a way of bringing different parts of life back into balance. Now we come to Hecate's wheel. It landed between physical and emotional. It was touching self. I always find this symbol fascinating. It actually reminds me of a labyrinth or a maze, because life rarely moves in a straight line. There are seasons that feel straightforward, others that leave us wondering what happened, twists we didn't expect, events we never planned. And here it almost feels like a reminder. Every part of that path has still been taking you somewhere, even the parts that didn't make sense at the time. And finally the mushroom. It landed between self and support, pointing towards support. If you have ever gone mushroom picking, you know how difficult it can be to find the edible ones. They don't grow out in the open. They adapt to whatever conditions they find. And in this reading, it doesn't feel like surviving difficult circumstances. It feels like realizing you have been stronger than you gave yourself credit for. And because it's pointing toward the evil eye, it feels as your strength is being protected. Looking at all these symbols, they seem to be sharing a message. Protect your peace. Stay present. Bring your inner world back into balance. And trust the path you have been walking. I have a feeling there is something more this reading wants to say. Let's see what Tarot has to say. We have the Ace of Pentacles, the World, the Page of Wands, and our oracle card is no longer tethered. With wings ready to take flight and threads in hand, you stand at the precipice of something new. It's time to step forward with grace, ready to embrace what lies ahead. The universe has woven this moment for you, and now it's your turn to pull the strings of your destiny. The next step is calling. The first card is the Ace of Pentacles. I always like seeing an ace appear at the beginning of a reading. Because an ace is not a finished story. It shows up as a possibility. Something real. Something you can actually build. This is not about following every opportunity that appears. It's about recognizing the one that's actually yours. And with the tree from the charm reading, it especially seems important. Because a seed only becomes a tree when someone chooses to plant it. Then comes the world. I'm smiling now. Look at those eyes. They're almost asking, well, what are you waiting for? The world is one of those cards people often describe as completion, and it is. But I don't think that's the whole story. Completion is not really the end. It's realizing that you are ready for something new. Look at this world card. It's sitting between the Ace of Pentacles, the past. You have learned what you needed to learn. And in front of it, the Page of Wands, the future. It almost feels like life placing one hand behind you and another one opening the door in front of you. And then we have the Page of Wands. I actually love seeing this card after the world because the page isn't concerned with having every answer. He doesn't wait until everything is clear. He's willing to take the first step. He's willing to learn, to see where the road leads. And that's very different from rushing. The Page of Wands is not an armchair traveler. He's curious. And then we have the Oracle card, no longer tethered. I remember creating this card, and I still love the message it carries. It says you stand at the precipice of something new. I think it's reminding us that some of the things we have been holding on to no longer belong to the person we are today. Sometimes we don't need more courage. Maybe we need to stop holding the thread. When I look at everything together, the tree asks you to stay grounded. The evil eye reminded you to protect your energy. The solar cross asks you to create harmony within yourself. The Hecate's wheel reminded you that every turn in your path has brought you here. The mushroom showed you that your strength has been growing each day. The Ace of Pentacles places an opportunity in front of you. The world says you are ready for what is next. The Page of Wands asks if you are ready to take the next step. And no longer tethered asks, what are you still holding on to that no longer needs to hold on to you? Maybe that's why this message found you today. Not to convince you to change your life, but to remind you that what waiting ahead has been calling you longer than you realize. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this message resonated with you, I hope it offers something meaningful to you. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading.